Hey, welcome. I'm Lorelei of Namasturm Yoga. Let's do a vinyasa practice. Go ahead and come to your mat. So this practice is probably going to be kind of intermediate to advanced. And I say that for a couple of reasons. I will include some advanced poses and transitions, but I'm probably not going to do anything really extreme or wild and crazy. And then second, I will cue through this practice, but I'm going to try not to give like an extensive amount of alignment cues. So I'm going to trust that you have some familiarity with yoga and with some of our basic yoga poses. And so the basics I'll keep simple. I'll probably talk a little more in detail through some of the stuff that's maybe a little bit more challenging or a little bit more out of the ordinary. We can take just a moment to sit. When I'm practicing at home on my own, I don't often spend a lot of time in a seated practice, although it does really make for a full and complete practice. So maybe just a moment to close your eyes, hands to your knees, maybe roll the shoulders back, tune into the breath, and just prep yourself for the practice ahead. And then just a little simple seated twist. So take the left hand to the right leg, right fingers behind, gently turning over your right shoulder. Especially if this is the first thing you've done all day, don't go too deep into the stretches right at the top. Let's switch to the other side. So right hand to the left knee, turn over your left shoulder. And then come on back to center. And let's move to tabletop, hands and knees. Setting up for some cat-cow stretches to warm up the spine. And also start the Ujjayi breath here so you can start to connect the breath to the movement of the body. Come back to center and tuck my right toes and just slide the foot back, pushing through the heel to kind of stretch out the calf. Reach through the head. And then I'm going to pick the toes up off the floor, keep reaching through the heel, and then I'm going to take the left hand back behind me, bend the right knee and reach back for the foot and pull on up a little bit. This may not be a very deep stretch for you early on. It's a little bit of a back bend. And if you want to skip it, you can just keep the leg extended behind you and balance. And then hand and knee to the floor, switch sides, so left foot, push through the heel. Make sure you're still breathing. And then take the left toes off the floor. And if you want, you could just reach the right arm forward, but if you're able to, maybe bend the left knee, reach back with the right hand for the foot, and then just pull up, give yourself a little bow stretch. And let that go. And let's go ahead and drop the hips to the heels. Take a brief child's pose. Keep the arms engaged though. We're gonna come right back up to cow pose. And then exhale to downward facing dog. From down dog, inhale forward to plank. You might need to adjust your hands to do that. And then exhale to child's pose. We're going to do this sequence one more time. So it's just really 4 simple poses. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, knees to the floor, child's pose. And we're just going to keep going until we get to the next down dog. And then holding in down dog, take a little time to warm up this pose here. And then from here, bring your left foot to the center of the mat, lift your left heel and take the right leg all the way into the air. Reach the toes for the ceiling. Look forward between the hands and step your right foot up for a high lunge, knee over ankle. You can keep your fingertips on the ground at first, reach through the back leg, and then let's take it to an easy twist. Plant your left palm, take the right arm up. And turning back to the floor, back to plank. Shoulders over wrists. And then lower down. So come down, maybe knees first this time. And then taking the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers and lift up. And lower down, forehead or an ear to the floor. And then let's come up into cobra. If you want to keep it a baby cobra, you can keep no weight on your hands. If you're ready to push up a little higher, go for it. Shoulders back, heart forward. And then downward facing dog. And we'll take the left leg into the air. So you can bring the right foot to the center of your mat, lift onto the ball of the foot, and then just really reach that leg, the foot for the ceiling. Lengthening. And step it forward all the way between the hands. Take a sec just to kind of adjust your alignment here so your knee is really vertical, stacked right over the ankle. Shin is vertical, I guess. And then plant the right palm, left arm goes up, twist. Turn to the floor, back to plank. One more time, vinyasa here. So I'm going to stay with knees to the floor because it's still pretty early, but you can take chaturanga if you want to, and then cobra, or you can go to up dog if you're ready. Exhale, down dog. Take a couple of good resting breaths here. Relax your neck. Root into the hands, elongate the spine, and then inhale, look forward, exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet to the front of the mat, about hip distance apart, just dangling, nice, easy forward fold here. Soften up the knees, let the upper body go. If you want to grab your elbows, you can. If you want to sway or loosen up the back of the neck, just give yourself a moment here. And then release your elbows. Let's roll up to standing. Come on up. Take the shoulders back and down a couple of times. And then walk the feet together. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. We're going to go into some sun A's. You can modify these as you need to. Or if you want to add like a push-up or something like that, that's fine as well. But we'll just flow with the breath. When you're ready, inhale. Reach the arms out and up. Exhale, folding to Uttanasana. Inhale, lifting halfway to Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping to plank, lower chaturanga, or you can take knees to the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Pay attention to how you're feeling as you practice, and that can indicate, how you want to practice. So this really is your own practice. If something feels wrong to you, see if you can modify or adjust. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or lightly hop or walk the feet up. Big toes to touch. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Press the feet, reverse swan dive, come up. And then palms together in front of the heart. Let's keep flowing. Inhale. And I actually might be modifying my vinyasas today just because I know I've got a shoulder that's giving me a little bit of trouble. If you have any issues with low back, sometimes it's a lot easier to work with the knees to the floor, and instead of taking up dog, just take cobra, or even a small cobra. You can stay with baby if you want to. When you get to down dog, take a good inhale, just one maybe, and then let yourself continue the flow. We're going to do a few more of these. Sun salutations really are our chance to warm up our whole body, syncing everything up together. Follow the pace of your breath. Try to keep in a nice, steady rhythm for yourself. Just keep flowing until you get to your next down dog. So take your time, continue with your same pace. And from down dog, let's go ahead and go to a down dog split, but this time with a squared off hip. So the leg lifts, the toes stay flexed down, reach through the heel, reach through the hands. Look forward, step your right foot forward. Let's come all the way up to a high lunge. So finding crescent pose here, front knee over ankle, set up the shoulders over your hips. Arms can go up alongside the ears, lunge deep, reach through your back heel. Breathe. And then I'm going to take the back knee down and take this to a twist. You can keep your back toes tucked. So sometimes we'll keep the back knee up to take a twist, but sometimes it's nice to get into it with the knee down and back. You can find a deeper twist, and then once you're there, float the back knee back up again. And then look to the front of the mat, step your left foot up to meet the right. Keep your twist if you can. Maybe fly the arms open if that would feel good for you. Knees together. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. And we'll go right back into Vinyasa, Ardha Uttanasana, and Chaturanga. And then the Vinyasas from here on out are optional. So you might feel warmed up and you might feel like doing more. You might even feel stronger than you did in our Sun A's. But you might also choose to skip them or modify them from here. So up to you. Let's take the left leg up. Again, square hip. So creating a diagonal from your hands to your heel. Breathe. And then look forward. Step the left foot between the hands. Take yourself up. Find your high lunge, knee over ankle. Reach through the arms, reach through the back leg. So while the knee is off the floor, that back leg, we want to really try to straighten it out. Lunge deeper into the front. And then go ahead and bend your back knee. Take it down. Take the right arm outside of the left leg. Push your left palm down into the right. And you can stay here with knee to the floor. Or if you're feeling okay about it, float the back knee back up. Look to your left foot so it's a little easier to step your right foot right next to it. So if that foot ends up in a weird spot, just move it so your knees can be together as well. Maybe fly the arms. And then inhale, chair. And back into Vinyasa. Follow your breath. Let's just take that right leg up one inhale Exhale, step it forward between the hands. This time, let's take warrior one. Back heel goes down. If you want to take this to a bit of a back bend, you can bring your palms together, look up, lunge deep. And then hands behind the back. We're going to do a nice stretch variation. So shoulder blades together and down. Let the heart lead. Keep the back heel down as you fold. And then let's see if we can come to a variation of warrior three. So we're going to keep the hands and our legs behind the back. Start to lift the torso a little and reach the head forward. Float off the back leg and see if you can pick that foot up. Reach through your back heel. Reach through the head. And then we're going to come from here right into chair pose. So we're going to let go of the hands. Bring the left foot underneath. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. And moving through Vinyasa to get back to down dog. And second side. So inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Back heel down. Take warrior one here. Give yourself a few breaths to align it, square up the hips, all that good stuff. And then hands behind the back. Let's work our variation. If you're lacing your fingers one way all the time, see if you can just change which thumb is on top. Shoulders back and then fold down. Root into your back heel. Maybe drop your chest down inside of your left knee. And then floating your torso up a little bit. Keep the arms engaged. Reach the head forward. Float your back foot up. Variation of warrior three. Try to level out the hips. And then chair pose. Let the hands go, let the foot come down, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana. And again, follow your breath through Vinyasa to get yourself back to downward facing dog. And breathe. Let's take the right leg up on an inhale. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. And let's exhale, open to warrior two. I'm going to just flip around so I can keep facing you. I'm going to adjust the front heel and back arch so that they line up. Take some time to align your pose and then just give yourself a chance to deepen it. Reverse warrior. And Vinyasa. Maybe one-legged chaturanga if you're feeling like this is the time to do that. Second side. Inhale, take the left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Back heel goes down, warrior one. And then just opening straight to warrior two. Make adjustments. And then try to just find the pose as a whole. Turn the front palm up, reverse your warrior. And Vinyasa when you're ready. Any variations or modifications you did on the first side, go ahead and continue on the second. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. As you exhale, bend the knees to step or lightly hop the feet forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Let's come to chair. And we're going to take chair into eagle pose. So keep the knees bent. Take the arms out. Let's do arms first. So right arm under right. Wow. Left arm under right, lift the elbows, sink the hips, and then left leg over right. So cross your thighs, maybe toes behind the calf. Lift the elbows, sink the hips. And then from here, we're just going to take it to a fold. So we're, wrapping everything in more tightly. Stay balanced. Keep your gaze down. Keep reaching the fingers away from you, so like an arrow pointing forward. And then from here, we're going to go to a standing split. So we're going to unwind the arms first, fingers to the floor. Unwind your standing leg. Take that leg into the air and fold deeper. Bend the front knee, reach for the back of the mat with the back heel. Inhale, warrior one. We're going to go through our same standing poses. Exhale, open to warrior two. Inhale to reverse the warrior, and let's take extended side angle. So just pulling together all of the basics, bending into the front knee, extending along the side edge of the body. Look up under your arm if you can. And then reverse warrior. So just stretch back again on an inhale and exhale, vinyasa. Breathe. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, step or hop feet forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Coming through chair. And once again, we're going to take eagle, and I'm going to go to the other side of my mat, but just the basics. Right arm under left, lift the elbows, and then right leg over left. Cross the thighs. Cross the calves as well if you can. And then starting to bow into this. I always think balance gets a lot easier once I bring more of my weight towards the floor, but we still want to keep all the wrapping. And then unwind the arms first. See if you can just lightly bring your fingertips to the floor, and then unwind that left leg. And take it now, it was wound tightly around your left leg. Now shoot it up as far away from your left leg as you can get it. Standing splits. And then bend the front knee to help you step back. Take warrior one. Open to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And then good old extended side angle. If you want to do a deeper variation here, you certainly can, bringing your left hand to the floor or a block. Just try to keep your alignment. It's not all about going to the nth degree of a pose. It's about getting the stretch that your body needs. And then when you're ready to move on, reverse the warrior and hands to the floor, take your vinyasa. And breathe in good old down dog. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, bend the knees and step or lightly hop up. Inhale, take a half lift. Exhale, fold, and then coming through chair pose, we're going to come to standing, and we're going to do a little bit of balancing poses into standing poses. So we're gonna stand, you can be at the front end of your mat. I'm just gonna face you to kind of demo. We're gonna stand on the right foot and take the left leg up. Now you might wanna take it up by bending the knee and then reaching for the toe, or if you wanna just kick it straight up and grab your toe, you can do that. Right hand's gonna come to the hip, push the foot ahead of you, but try to pull your left shoulder back. And then you can take that leg out to the side. Try to keep your hips level here. Maybe the right arm shoots out. You can turn your head if you like. Watch your balance. Have a gazing point. And then come on back to center, and we're going to switch. So we're going to take the right hand to the outer left foot, and then we're going to pull the left arm back, so we're turning to the side. And I'm going to now turn to the side of my mat to show you this, because we're going to transition from here. So we've got the right hand on the outer left foot, and the left arm is reaching back. And see if you can turn your gaze open. Strong into your standing leg. We're going to go from here to half moon pose. So you're going to carefully let go of your left foot. Keep the right arm out, and you can turn the palms open. Start to swing your left leg under your body. And as you do that, let the upper body start to move down until your right fingers come to the floor for half moon pose. Try not to fall, but if that happens, it's okay. Stack the shoulders, reach through the back heel. Maybe turn and look up towards your top thumb. If you want to take Ardha Shavasana here, you could bend that top knee, reach back with the hand for the foot, and pull the heel away from the hip. And then carefully let that go. Leg behind you, arm up, bend the front knee, step back long. Inhale, reverse warrior, and then let's go ahead and straighten that front leg, which it's probably going to want. And let's take triangle pose, Trikonasana. Back of the hand against the inner shin, I like. If you like to grab the big toe, that's fine. If you want to use a block behind the shin, that works too. Long sides of the body. And then float on up, stretch it back, and take a vinyasa. Take a breath or two to rest. If you need a child's pose at any point instead of down dog, or instead of any pose really, you can always drop the knees to the floor. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step or hop your feet. Half lift, folding down and coming through chair one more time. We're going to do this all on the other side. So we're going to start standing on the left leg and just taking the right leg up, grabbing the big toe if you can. If you can't grab the big toe, you can just have your hand on your knee with the knee bent. Push through the foot. Try to pull your right shoulder back and then take that right leg off to the side. Keep the hips as level as you can. If you want to take the left arm out, go for it. Now, and I'm going to turn on my mat now, so I'm going to try to turn my foot, but I can't do it. But the leg is, move the leg back so where it's straight in front of you, and switch to the other hand. So the left hand's going to come around and grab the pinky toe side of that right foot. Push the foot into the hand and then try to pull back. Take the right arm open and see if you can turn your gaze open as well. And then doing the best you can to think about transitioning to half moon. So move slowly, keep the alignment that you can. So try to keep the leg extended as it moves underneath you. Keep your torso turned to the side so you keep the bit of the twist that happens as you go into this pose. Breathe. Once you get there, recalibrate. And if you want to take Ardha Shavasana, you can bend your right knee, reach back with your hand for your foot, and pull the heel away from the hip. And then release that top foot if you've got it. Bend your front knee, Step back long. We're basically stepping to warrior two. We're going to reverse warrior, straighten the front leg, and take Trikonasana. Long sides of the body. So just notice if you tend to curve, and instead try to extend the sides. Lean head and shoulders back. And float on up. And instead of going right into vinyasa here, we can stretch back like we did before, but we're just going to parallel the feet and take Prasarita Padottanasana. I'm going to give option to go into tripod headstand here, so I'm going to tuck things in. Let's take hands to the waist and take a nice wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel. Once you get about halfway, the hands should be able to come down. Fingers and toes point the same direction. Lean in. Lift the quads. And as you deepen the pose, if you find that your head is coming to the floor, lean off of your heels onto your head and the balls of the feet, and then continue to lean to your head until the feet can float up. And if your feet are up, in your own time, reach through the toes so that you can slowly take the legs open and take the feet back to the mat. And then press the feet down and float on up. Let's jump the feet together. All right, and let's step, you can step back to the top of your mat, but we're just gonna take a tree pose here. So very simple, standing on the right foot, sole of the left foot is gonna come to the calf or all the way up to the thigh. Press the foot against the leg and the leg against the foot, palms together. And then if you can take those arms up. Reach through. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go into warrior three. So you're gonna bring your left knee into your chest, flex through the foot, and we're just going to take classic warrior three. I'm gonna turn back again to the front edge of my mat. Push through the heel as you let your torso move down. And if you're having trouble keeping the arms extended, you can take palms together in front of the heart, whether it's because your arms they're drooping, or maybe you just don't have enough space. It's okay. Reach through the heel. And then bend the front knee. We're gonna come back to a high lunge. So just crescent pose here. Inhale, exhale, take the left hand to the floor, take the right arm up, easy twist. We're gonna move to side plank, but I wanna give you the option to do a little tree variation here. So you could either just step your right foot back or grab hold of your right foot with your right hand, and as you roll to the outer edge of the left foot, move the sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Push the thigh up against the foot. As the foot steps onto the inner thigh, lift the hips, lift the gaze. And then turning back to the mat, and maybe you can keep that connection of the tree as you lower chaturanga, and then the foot shoots back behind you for up dog, and exhale into down dog. Breathe. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, bend knees and step or lightly hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Let's just reverse swan dive to get out of here. Now, come on up. And palms together in front of the heart. And we'll do the other leg. So standing on the left leg this time. Sole of the right foot is going to come. It can come to your calf, just not to your knee. But if you can get it to the thigh. Wait. Did we do that side already? No, we did. We're doing, when we go into the side plank, we're using the other foot that we used in the tree, so just be aware that it's switching from side to side. If you can reach those arms up, go ahead and do that. And then thinking about moving to warrior three, so I'm going to turn again so that I have space to be able to extend my leg behind me. So from tree, you'll just bring your knee into your chest, flex hard through the foot, and then push the foot behind you as you let your torso start to level out. Reach through the head, reach through the hands. See if you can keep your hips level. And again, palms together in front of the heart is a perfectly valid version of Warrior 3. Bend your front knee, step all the way back, coming to crescent pose, high lunge. Take the right hand to the floor, take the left arm up. Easy twist, and you could go straight from here to side plank, but if you want to take the tree version, carefully roll to the outer edge of your back foot, and then use your left hand to move your left foot all the way to the inner upper right thigh. Again, not against the knee, so same rules apply as they do for tree pose. Lift your hips, lift your gaze. And then vinyasa here, and again, if you can keep your foot attached to your thigh for your chaturanga, and then go into up dog. Exhale, take downward facing dog and breathe. Let's take the knees to the floor. We're going to set up for dolphin and then optional headstand. When I'm practicing at home on my own, headstand is probably the most common inversion that I do. But if you have another one that you prefer, you can certainly insert your inversion of choice into this little piece of our practice. But let's start with dolphin, and I like to give this because dolphin A is a good warm-up for inversions, but also it's a good backup plan. So if you're not going to go upside down today, you can always stay with dolphin and get a lot out of just doing the practice here. Elbows under shoulders, forearms pressed down. Tuck your toes, lift your knees and hips. Head is clear of the floor in dolphin. And then if you want to take like a split, you can take the right leg up. And then toes down and switch to the other side. And then toes down, knees to the floor. Just give yourself a little child's pose here. And then maybe a headstand. You could come to a wall if you need to. If you're comfortable in the center of the room, make sure it's going to be safe for you. Nestle your head up by your hands. Let just like the hairline come to the floor, tuck toes, and then trying to float the feet up as controlled as possible. So it might be one leg at a time. If you can pike up, you can go ahead and take that. But try not to jump up into a headstand or hop up. Your neck is too vulnerable to be using momentum. Breathe. And then when you're ready to come down with a lot of control. Controlling your descent is going to help to build your ascent in later iterations of your inversion practice. And another little child's pose. So if you really were on your head and upside down, stack your fists, take your forehead to the stacked fists, hips on the heels. And then let's come up to the knees. We're going to do a little camel pose. Got to get a little back bending in, a little important component of all of our practices. And so if you want to tuck your toes on the first one, that's usually the way I start, with toes tucked so the heels are a little closer for my hands to reach back. Tuck your tail. As always, lift the heart. Try to keep your alignment. Keep the breath moving smoothly. Maybe the head goes all the way back. Maybe not. And then come up as easily as you can. Take a moment to sit back on the heels if that feels okay, to stretch the bottoms of the feet. And let's do one more. And this time, if you want, you can extend the toes. Just, there's options here, right? So you know kind of what they are, but you can stay with what we just did before as well. Make sure the knees aren't going wider than the hips, but they're also not right together. So knees are right under the hips. They're hip distance apart. Come up when you're ready. Support your waist as you come on up. Let's drop to the left hip to take a nice seated twist, neutralizing the spine after back bend. Step the right leg over the left, get both sit bones down, and then use your left arm on the right knee. So you can grab it or you can take it past. Just a little subtlety as your right shoulder moves back. Think about moving your right hip forward so you get a little more of that almost sense of ringing that can happen in the torso. And then change legs. Right leg on the bottom, left one over the top. Use your right arm or past. Turn over your left shoulder. Same thing with the shoulder goes back, but the hip kind of slides itself a little forward. The back hand pushes down to help lift the spine so that we're getting really long and upright and vertical, but then we're just kind of twisting everything around it. And let's uncross the legs, and let's come back to downward facing dog. So you can take a vinyasa if you want to. I'm going to skip it at this point because we're getting closer to the point where we're just going to do some finishing poses. And I love pigeon pose in my practice. It's probably my most requested pose when I teach in-person classes, so I like to include it. Let's take the right leg into the air, open the hip and bend the top knee. So variation on down dog splits where we really point the knee to the sky. We're going to do another little variation to lead up to pigeon. So we're going to take that right knee over by the left arm so that there's a little twist happening. And then we're just going to try to extend the leg under the arm so the edge of the foot is on the floor. And then take the left hand up and twist. Extending in all directions here. And then take your left hand down, and now we can basically just slide that right leg over until the right knee ends up behind the right wrist. Use your left toes then to walk your left leg back so you're on the top of your left thigh. Extend your foot behind you and let it go. Use a block under your hip if you need to. If you need to come to your back because your right knee is giving you trouble, you can modify this pose that way. Lower down. Give up some of your weight here. 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready to come up easily. We'll stretch the back quad. So support yourself with the right fingers, bend the left knee, draw the left heel in. A couple of things to think about here. So you can go into a mermaid pose if you like to, but the first thing to do in order to start going in that direction is to take less weight on your front hand. So maybe it starts with just bringing your right hand to your thigh and then kind of pushing down to try to move the shoulders back over the hips. And then eventually, if the shoulders get over the hips enough, it's easier to stabilize. You can take the right arm up, maybe up alongside the head. And if you can start to do that, maybe slide the left foot into the crook of the elbow. And then eventually we get to mermaid where the hands clasp kind of over by the left shoulder there. Try to keep your shoulders squared pretty much forward and avoid rolling to your right hip. Let that go when you're ready, hands to the floor, and back to good old down dog. We'll shake out the right leg or kick through the heel, and then we'll take it to the other side. Take the left leg up, open the hip, bend the top knee, point the knee to the sky for a moment. And then take the left knee to the right arm. So a little twist is going to happen here. Hold for just a moment, why not? Bit of core. And then kick the leg through, right underneath your arm, but try to keep it straight out, level with the hip. And then take the right hand up, twist open to the ceiling, let the head fall back. And then right hand back to the floor and slide the left knee over so that it moves behind your left wrist and you're just setting yourself up for pigeon. Right toes to walk the right leg back, folding down over the shin. About 2 more breaths here. And then come on up carefully. And same thing, so we're going to bend the right knee, reach back with the same hand for the foot. So draw the heel towards the hip. And then just practice the idea of not taking as much weight on the left hand. So maybe take it to the left thigh. Start to move your shoulders back. Arm forward, arm up. And then eventually maybe slide foot into the crook of the elbow. Hands behind, and then just try to re-square forward with the chest and shoulders. And leave that go. Hands to the floor, back to down dog. Shake out the leg or kick through the heel if that would feel good to you. And inhale, look to the front of the mat. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet forward. And we're coming to a seat. Okay. So it's time just to kind of finish up here. We're going to do one last seated twist, and then we're going to do just some forward folding. So we're just going to do, we're going to take the right leg out and step the left foot over. So we're going to twist, and then we'll take Janu Shirshasana on this side and then switch sides. So again, you can grab your elbow around your knee or take your elbow past your knee. This isn't terribly different from what we did right after our back bending, but just to kind of finish up. And then coming back to center, Keep your right foot really flexed and the quad is toned. Left foot comes down to inside of the thigh. If you like to take a half lotus, you can, and basically that would be the edge of your foot cutting right into your hip crease, and then the knee drops down. Otherwise, Jani Shirshasana, but either way, we're going to turn over the front leg, keep the foot flexed, and fold. If you have the half lotus and you're feeling a little, like having a little fun, you can take a bind here. So your left arm comes around and tries to grab your left toe, and then the right hand grabs the right toe. Come on up easy, and we'll switch it to the other leg. So left leg out. Start by just stepping the right foot over. So taking a nice seated twist here, turning over the right shoulder, but keep your left foot flexed. And then untwist, and either Janu Shirshasana, sole of the foot to the inner left thigh, and if you're coming out of the twist, kind of a nice way to do this transition to half lotus is to just let your heel kind of slide all the way up. So it's like your heel is coming to your belly button, and then the edge of the foot just gets tucked right into that hip crease. So it's not resting on your thigh, it's kind of tucked out of the way if possible. Folding over your left leg, the right knee drops down. And if you did on the first side, you could take that little bind with the fingers and the toes. And then when you're ready, come on up slowly. Let's cross the legs. All right. So I encourage you to take the next few minutes to come to your mat on the floor and take Shavasana practice, just to give yourself a moment to transition out of your practice. And Shavasana really is a nice counter pose to practicing in general. But let's close together. So bring your palms together in front of the heart and close your eyes. Tune back into your breath for just one moment. Maybe even take a nice deep breath here. And we'll end with a simple bow forward. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice. Namaste. Thanks. If you haven't already, remember to subscribe. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. I'll see you next time.